So what's going on with 08 numbers in the UK?
Well, it all started off kind of with the best of intentions. If you were calling an 08 number from BT, 0844 would cost you 1 to 5 pence a minute. 0845 would cost you a local call. 0870 would cost you a national call. And 0871 would cost you 6 to 10 pence a minute.
Yeah.
The only fly in the ointment was that if you call with any other company, they'll charge you whatever they feel like.
Right, so it was a bit confusing for customers.
Very confusing.
Okay, so what have Ofcom done about this?
Well, in December 2013, they came up with a cunning plan, and the idea was that everyone, no matter which mobile phone or landline provider, would be charged the same way. And your supplier, say Vodafone or BT, would charge you an access charge, and then the people who own the number would set a service charge. The access charge might be, say, 2 pence a minute, and a service charge might be 5 pence a minute. So you add it together, and that's 7 pence a minute.
Okay, and what actually happened?
Well, not quite what was intended, because just about all the landline companies came in about 10 pence a minute, and the mobile phone companies, nearly all of them, came in between 40 to 50 pence a minute. And that is just to access the service.
Let's get this straight. You could be paying maybe as much as 60 pence a minute to call one of these numbers now?
Yes.
And how much was it before?
Well, if you were calling BT, it might have been somewhere between 1 and 10 pence a minute.
Wow, okay. Right. So, what's going to happen to these 08 numbers then?
Well, clearly there's going to be a lot of upset people when they're looking at their phone bills. And I think that there's a very low awareness of what's happening really in a few days' time now at the beginning of July.
So, how much do you think it might affect people's bills?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if people didn't take steps to avoid it. They could be spending £100 a year.
Wow.
You see, you can't avoid calling 08 numbers. There's so many exemptions to come, and there are so many companies who are allowed to charge for 08 numbers when you call them.
Right. But I thought that I've heard that companies aren't allowed to use 08 numbers anymore, and they're all going to be moving over to the 03s or something that's much cheaper to call.
Well, I haven't seen much of a rush.
Right.
The other day I called the customer service people of a mail order company, and they were charging me on an 0871 number. They shouldn't be doing that. I was lucky I could call that from a landline, because if I'd been calling from a mobile, I'd be paying as much as 60 pence a minute to have them put me on hold and find out where my delivery was.
Wow, okay. If I've got one of these 08 numbers, but I like my customers, what can I do about it?
Well, if you like your customers, you should be getting, I think, a choice of 3 numbers. If you really like your customers, get them an 0800 number, because 0800 numbers are now going to be free to call from mobile phones. If you're a kind of really national player, you should be getting one of the new 03 numbers. That costs the same to call as a national telephone number, so that's within everyone's bundles, and that should be very cheap to call, or free included. And if you're much more of a local player, either regional or local, so that you might, say, go for Clacton-on-Sea if you're the local Clacton plumber. If you're a regional player, you might go for Chelmsford or something like that.
There's lots of other numbers you could use instead of the 08s.
There are lots of numbers.
Save your customers money.
And yes, and to a certain extent, your choice of those 3 really is about the impression you want to give your customers.
Okay, great. What would you recommend your customers do? Are there any kind of resources they can find online to help guide them through this?
Yeah, underneath the video, I put some sets of resources. First of all, there are some resources on how much it's going to cost to call, so that if you think your supplier is being a bit greedy, you can change. Secondly, if you can't avoid calling these numbers, my company DM Club has got a product which enables you to call very, very cheaply these numbers and save a whole lot of money. And you can do that from your landline, from your mobile phone, or using voice over IP.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Well, thank you very much.